It's great to be here. So I've been listening to your stuff, and you talk about we have a vibrational escrow account where the things we desire are stored.
In a vibrational version that you've got to translate into reality through your attention to it, by your practice of it, by your realization of it. It's been revealed, you got to realize it.
So in the space of wanting to get in the vibration, feeling it now, but also noticing the absence of it, what I've been doing is imagining myself flying out of my body and going to a time in the future when the thing, the desire, the accomplishment has been realized, and then bringing in that vibrational energy from that moment.
Good process.
Into the now.
Yeah, we can see how that could work for you if you're able to go there.
And
because what you're doing, you're bridging the fact that your now eyes can't see it by moving into future eyes, by moving into a future experience, by dawning a future experience. That's a good process.
And then bringing in those energies into the moment, and you talk about the 68 seconds.
Because it doesn't matter whether you are focused upon the past or the present or the future, you're doing it now. So as you are envisioning something that you want, you are activating it in your now, which is now bringing it to your now. But the question is, and it's what we've been dancing around with here today, is as long as that visualization is not making you say, wait a minute, it's not here. In other words, if the visualization is strong enough, then that balance will tip on the fulcrum. It will.
So bringing those energies in the moment and then bringing it into now, it creates like this sweet spot for me vibrationally.
See, we want to say something to you that by the time you're doing that, what's happened is you've already achieved close enough proximity to your vortex that you're already beginning to translate it. That is what's happening. You're actually peering into your vortex and seeing what's there, because the first stages of turning those vibrations to thoughts and those thoughts to things is that imagery, is that imagination, or when it happens in your dream state, it is the same thing too.
Okay.
So once you're doing that consistently, you are on the verge of full manifestation.
So the next step would be consistency between the steps.
And the consistency comes with the enjoying it. I'm enjoying the pleasure of these thoughts rather than I'm doing this to make something happen. Because when you're doing it to make it happen, what hasn't happened gets a little foothold. If you're doing it for the pleasure, then there's no resistance, there's no downside to that. So that's where imagery comes in, just for the pleasure. Sitting and contemplating pleasurable thoughts is the most productive thing that you could do. So much so that we're encouraging you to do 20% less, do 30% less, do 40% less, do half of what you're usually doing, do 60% less, do 70% of what you usually do, and contemplate 70% more than you usually do, and watch how it flips. Reality will get you. What is all that action and all that reality is the basis of the resistance that you keep throwing on your trail. Now we know you're arguing for your limitations. We will call each of your employers and explain. You're going to find them a lot less active in the days coming up, but way more productive. They're going to be less active and way happier. And your employer might say, I don't really care so much about their happiness. I care mostly about their productivity. And we say, we promise you, if you will encourage happiness, productivity will ensue.
Hello. So I really feel fortunate to have created the life that I've wanted in all aspects of my life, as a father, as a business person, as a spiritual person, but I'm still waiting to kind of manifest my life partner. And I've met incredible women, but I seem to find flaws or just I'm hoping that one day I'll find someone that'll be like, boom, that's it. And is that the way it works with love? Do you really know, or?
Well, often you do know it when you see it, but if you continue to practice the vibration of that's not it, 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 that's not it. It's hard for that which is it to get through that smoke screen. And this is what we were talking about earlier, about trying to figure out where your vibrational frequency is. And that's the tricky part, isn't it? Because when you want something to manifest and it hasn't, it's difficult not to notice that it hasn't manifested. And so your attention upon its absence keeps it from coming. So that's why we talk about this a lot. Being unconditional in the desire rather than conditional. Talking about the love rather than the person to whom you will flow the love. Talking about the companionship rather than talking about the companion. Talking about the state of being together rather than the person with whom you will be together. The word is the uncondition of it rather than the condition of it. And the best way to describe the uncondition of something, just for sake of this evolution of thought, let's call the uncondition the feeling of it. Let's call the uncondition the emotion of it. So the person is going to be the condition, but the uncondition of it is the feeling of the person, the feeling. So if you can begin to think about what it feels like to have that feeling of belonging, that feeling of understood humor, that feeling of satisfaction, that feeling of exhilaration, that feeling of, now here's where it gets a little dicey, that feeling of having someone to whom you can flow your love. Well, now that's when it gets dicey, because in the moment that you try to picture the one to whom you can flow the love and that picture hasn't filled in, now you begin activating the resistance to it. So it's that dance that you're doing, finding the feeling of something. That's why we talk about this vortex version. Oh, it's real. Your partner is real, but it's a vibrational reality right now, which means it's an unconditioned. It's an unconditioned that you're going to turn into a thing. It's a condition that you're going to turn into something. But if you try too hard to turn it into the thing, if you need the thing to be there before you allow yourself to have the feeling, that's backwards. You got to be able to find the feeling before you need the thing. Oh, we just said that more clearly than ever before, because almost everybody is saying, give me the thing and then I'll have a feeling response to it. That's very conditional life. Give me the thing. Give me a lot of money and then I'll feel prosperous. And give me a place to live with no job and then I'll feel free. And then give me someone to love, then I will feel love. And we say, it does not work that way. You have to find the feeling without needing something that you don't have yet.
So if you have that feeling in a relationship with someone in, say, 70% of the categories, and you're kind of feeling that which you've experienced.
You're doing that the hard way. Because now not only have you not yet found the one, you've found 30% absolutely not the one. And now, without meaning to, you're asking that 30% to change. You're making it conditional. Esther's sisters and some of their kids, it's a sort of family thing. That guy'd be perfect if he was different. He'd just be perfect if he was different.
Right. So be in relationship with the unconditional.
Say again?
So be in relationship with the unconditional.
Which is to say, be in a relationship with your vortex version. Be in a relationship with your own inner being. Be in a relationship with love, not your object of love. Be in a relationship with that feeling of wonder, not your object of wonder.
I love that.
Find the feeling. Find the feeling. And some worry, oh, I'm going to get so happy I won't want anybody. And we say, just like we were talking about with our first conversation, yeah, you're going to get so happy you won't want anybody. That's what they were trying to teach him. You won't want in that needy way. And when that's no longer active within you, what you want will just flow into your experience, and you will know when you see. You'll say, there you are. There you are. Now I can see you and hear you and smell you and taste you and touch you, lick you. There you are. There you are. I recognize you by how I feel, not by what I'm translating through my physical senses, by what I feel. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed.
Wonderful.
So we see our value as we play with you today in offering enough of what we know about the laws of the universe and enough about what we know about where you stand in relationship to everything you want, each of you, that you will feel some lessening of resistance. That's what soothing is. Some lessening of resistance, and therefore a raising of your vibrational frequency, and therefore an aligning with the energy between you, and therefore an opening of the passageway between you and you, and therefore an allowing of the focus of source, who is with you all day every day, to be received fully by you. You see, in every moment that you are having a conversation, in every moment that your opinion is active on something, your inner being is active with an opinion too. And when those opinions blend, such as you're wonderful, or you're worthy, or you're good, or you're in your right place at your right time, or that all is well, or that things are always working out for you, or that things are opening in a way that is benefit to you, or that you are fulfilling your reason for being here right here and now, or that you are loved by source, or that the universe is on your side, or that all is well, or that when you are on one of those thoughts that source knows so clearly about you, you can feel the fullness of your alignment. That's what your elation feels like. That's what that love feels like. That's what that passion feels like. That's what enthusiasm feels like. And most of all, that's what clarity feels like. It feels so good to be tuned in, tapped in, turned on, in vibrational sync with who you are. That's how you're supposed to live here. You're not supposed to be muddling around in confusion. You're not supposed to be squabbling with one another. You're not supposed to be looking at each other, needing somebody else to be a little different so you can feel a little better. You didn't come here to control the world. You didn't come here to change the world or save the world. You knew it didn't need to be saved. You would constantly change. But you didn't come to fix things that are broken. You came to revel in the perfection of this time-space reality, knowing that it would serve you so well, knowing that the variety of it would inspire within you clarity about what you personally and individually, and with so much blessing and worthiness seen from source energy, that you would pick and choose the things that are important to you, and that you would use the power of your mind and the precision of your own guidance system to focus yourself into complete alignment with your own personal desires, so that all that you desire could come to fruition, because you are the creator of your reality. Nobody else. You are the creator of your own reality. We love you so much, but you're lazy. You don't create your own reality deliberately. Most of you create it by default. You look over there, and then you look over there, and then you look over there, and then you look over there. You give your attention to what's going on around you, and you let what's going on around you set the tone for who you are. You let your vibration be controlled by what you're observing. So you're regurgitating life when you do that. You're not creating life. But what you said when you came into this physical experience, you said, I will look at the variety, and from it I will choose what I prefer. And I know I will find all kinds of new ideas, because the culmination, the combination, the beingness of all of you as you mix together, you are giving one another such opportunity to launch your rockets of desires, to set into motion the new creation of which you are a part and for which reason you came. So we would like to convince you that the reason that you are here is because it is so much fun to find an idea that has not come to fruition, maybe one that has never been unto the universe, and maybe one that you have never experienced personally. You've launched this new idea, and then all of the resources of source come into vibrational concert in order to orchestrate the perfect unfolding that you have defined. The question is, it's the question that this seminar wants to ask and answer. Are you up to speed with your own desire? Because you can't stop wanting. Give that up.